My struggle began when I was 11 years old. My best friend was shot in front of me, and in that moment, I realized it can all be taken away. So it was from that point forward that anything that came across in life, I was gonna take part in it, whether that was good or bad. So the real struggle began 2 years later when I was 13, and realized that it's so much easier to deal with my emotions if I eat pills and drown it in brown alcohol. My name is Nate Bender. I'm from here, Charleston, South Carolina. Grew up in Mount Pleasant, and what brought me here is to share my story about addiction and recovery.
Light, more light!
The biggest struggle that I've had to row against is life. I received so much help, so it's important to me that if I can share my story and help at least one person, then I've done my job of paying it back. My rock bottom was in Okinawa, Japan. I was in the Marines. I just turned 22. I was on the 4th floor of my barracks, looking out. I had drank myself sober, if that makes any kind of sense. And I looked over the edge, had a feeling come over me. I said, I'm gonna die if I stay on this path. And the next day I went in and asked for help, told my superiors that I'm an absolute train wreck. Asking for help in the military is brutal. To tell a bunch of guys that you look up to, I've got a drinking problem and I can't function. Yeah, it was absolutely difficult. So I checked into rehab, spent 35 days in an inpatient program, 5 days detox before that. Addiction in adolescence stops your emotional growth. So I had to relearn who I was or learn who the new Nate was going to be. And it was closer to the latter. So I had to connect with a higher power, connect with friends, remove myself from, hey, do you want to go? You know, I can't go to this one place because all they'd want to do is drink. I was crushing AA meetings, did 90 meetings in probably 70 days, sometimes 2-3 meetings a day, instead of, as the saying goes, one day at a time. I was an hour at a time, I was a minute at a time, I was a second at a time, trying to figure out what worked for me and kept me on the path. Well, today, I'm paddling through life to aspire to be the best Nate that there can be. Not a day goes by that I don't think about doing something. Something will spark a memory or a situation will come up where I immediately flash back, even though it's, you know, over 25 years. Recovery's gifted me everything. Without my sobriety, I wouldn't have anything. That's the number one to me. So I'm always trying to be a better version of me. And I make that sobriety first. If I could share one thing with my younger self, or especially my son today, don't be scared to ask for help. You can't do it alone. Build your community, find the people you need, hold them close. Get rid of the stigma around mental health, and just ask for help. What keeps me accountable today is my family. My beautiful wife is the biggest support network I've ever had in my life. And it took me 40 years to find her. And my son, being that I'm adopted and I have no idea where I came from, my son is my first known blood relative to me. And whether he knows it or not, he's a huge savior in my life. So those two people. Yeah. I kept it together. Yeah, it was close. It was real close, man.
We've been asking this before.